Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Oh, shall I stay? Would it be a sin? Oh, if I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. Oh, for I can't help falling in love with you. Oh, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Won't take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Oh, for I can't help falling in love with you.
Welcome, everyone. You may be seated. Peter and Dana, we're gathered here today to celebrate the love you've discovered in each other, to bear witness to the joining of your two lives, and to support the commitment you're about to make, or have already made. Your transition as a couple today is marked not only by celebrating the love between you two, but the love between all of us here, your family, parents, siblings, your friends, extended family, and the love between all of them. Without that love, today would be far less joyous. For those of you that don't know, I'm Peter and Dana's friend for over 11 years, and I have been lucky enough to be part of that family and friends for that time. And so when Peter and Dana were engaged and asked me to officiate their wedding, I was honored and I couldn't say no. I was a bit nervous, but they were supportive and said, "Oh, you'll be all right." And I figured they'd give me some guidance. But this was back in 2018. So I had a postponement of this event, a pandemic, plethora of life events, and I hadn't heard much about it. And I thought, yeah, I might be off the hook. But a few months ago, now we talked about it, and I asked for a little guidance, and what I got back was, yeah, do whatever you want. And so I said, oh, you'll be great. Do whatever. And I said, they were very encouraging. No questions asked. They did have a few suggestions, though. For example, some matching tattoos or live branding instead of vows. Ceremony just of SpongeBob quotes, a couple Smirnoff Ices or two, but they decided against all of that, for better or worse. And I was left to my own devices to see how we would unite these two. So I did what any unordained regular person would do, and I turned to the old Google machine. And I thought, hey, Peter's Greek, maybe I'll find a good Greek quote. So I found one from Aristotle. And it says, love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. So a single soul inhabiting two bodies. I thought, oh, that's interesting, but Dina's English. Let's see what Google says about that. And I said, well, who better to look to than Shakespeare for a quote? And I did find a good one that said, love asks no questions and gives endless support. And I found a third by Jane Austen that says, we're all fools in love. So I thought, hey, that's actually pretty reflective of this relationship and leading up to this ceremony, in my experience here. So I said, if we combine these quotes, we have Peter and Dana are two fools inhabiting a single soul, asking no questions, but providing endless support. So this is great. I mean, we had two fools. I'll remind you of the live branding instead of vowels. Asking no questions. I'll remind you of, Connor, do whatever you want. And providing endless support. Not only encouraging me and helping me through this process, but I was able to observe them a little closer through this honor and watch them support one another and really encourage them in their marriage and in this process. So marriage is more than just two people standing up here today and reciting vows. It's more than just a bunch of people watching you smooch for the first time. It's more than a ceremony. And we know that ceremony is not magic, right? It's a symbol of the promise that you're making to each other to grow together. Marriage is in your hearts. Grows out of loving, caring, sharing yourselves with each other. Marriage is a symbol of your love, your commitment to one another, your sacrifices. It's risking who we are for the sake of who we can be. And it's a bold step into an unknown future. In that future, there's a whole lifetime ahead of you. There's skills to be practiced, right, during that time. And you'll have celebrations, you'll have challenges, which makes the decision to marry one another not entered into lightly. It's undertaken with great consideration and respect for each other and yourselves. Decisions like marriage take time. And I'll let you use that line when people ask you, well, you were engaged in 2018, why'd you wait till 2022 to get married? And while there's a lifetime ahead of you, you've had plenty of life behind you as well. You've already been through a lot together. You've known each other for over a decade, studied together, graduated college together, competed together, moved to a new home, adopted some fur babies, survived a pandemic, started new jobs, got pepper sprayed. You've been through a lot, and you've supported one another through it all. Truly, the inner machinations of your marriage is ending. Marriage nurtures each of you as separate individuals and allows you to maintain your unique selves, to grow in your own way. It's a safe haven for each of you to become your best self. You're adding to your life not only the affection of each other, but also the companionship and blessing of a deep trust. You're agreeing to share strength, responsibilities, and love. It takes more than love to make this relationship work, though. It takes dedication to stay open to one another, to learn and grow, even when it's difficult to do so. It takes trust to know in your hearts that you only want the best for each other. And it takes faith to go forward without knowing what the future holds for you both. And with that, I think we should get these two married. Again. Are you ready? Peter and Dana, have you come here today of your own free will to declare your commitment to each other? If so, say we have. We have. Do you promise to be there for each other in good and bad, to grow with understand and respect one another during your life together? If so, say we do.
We do.
All right, so I think we have some vows to share too, right? You're going first, right, Dana?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't actually write them until this moment. All right. Peter, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be discussed. There's a reason why I want to go first. We know that I've always been competitive. When we first met, I knew I had to keep up with you. You light up every room you enter. Your charisma is what drew me to you. You bring out the best in me. When I thought of who I wanted to spend my life with, I always dreamed of someone who makes me laugh. And I found you. I didn't think I was going to cry. Life with you has been nothing but laughter. You bring me up when I'm down, you support me without any question, and your optimism grounds me. Thank you for making life easy by taking care of me when I'm running late, as per usual, by feeding me, the cats, and Roxy, and then yourself. You're the most selfless person I know. Thank you for being you, Peter. I love you, and I like you, most of the time. I promise to always laugh with you, and sometimes at you. I promise to always make it home. I promise to challenge you every day and to keep growing with you. I promise to be patient most of the time. You make loving you easy, so thanks for doing this with me again. And I can't wait for whatever our next curveball is. I wouldn't want to marry anyone else twice.
So, if you hear some repeating things, just know I wrote mine 2-3 weeks ago. So before I vow anything, I do have a confession to make. You were right.
You're welcome.
Let me tell you what about. In chronological order, when we started dating, that, yes, we should be dating. When we were moving in together, that we needed a second cat, correct. When we needed to postpone this the first time, so it was during a pandemic and we broke a lease that we just re-signed and we moved into a new house and got a dog. Yes, good call on all this. I'm never going to say that again. Sorry, I'm so, yeah. Anyways, as you know, I'm your #1 fan. That's always going to be my #1 priority. I'll always make sure I'm also the ones who keep waking you up when you fall asleep on the couch when you know absolutely the bed's more comfortable. Just fall asleep at bed. Yeah, that's all you need to do. I will keep feeding you. I promise. It's pretty easy. I will continue to be the dog dad, cat dad to any animal you bring in the house. I will be your crash test dummy for any new defensive tactic you learn. And number one, I'm always going to be there for you. Being your husband is just the top row on the cake. I had a better use for this, but I lost it. It's hard to think straight when you look like this. Like I said, I'm your #1 fan. I'm always going to be there rooting for you. And I didn't say curveball, but I can't wait for the next roadblock, whatever it was, ahead. I did practice this earlier, and I'm sorry it's cheaper, or it's definitely worse than I thought. I love you.
And I think we have some rings. All right. Your wedding ring is a symbol of your promise to one another. The ring, an unbroken, never-ending circle, is a symbol of committed, unending love. Peter, as you place the ring on Dana's finger, repeat the words after me. This ring symbolizes my love for you.
This ring symbolizes my love for you.
And the commitments we made today.
And the commitments we made today.
Dana, as you place the ring on Peter's finger, please repeat the words after me. The ring symbolizes my love for you.
The ring symbolizes my love for you.
And the commitments we made today.
And the commitments we made today.
You really gotta shove it. Sorry, I'm nervous.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to pronounce Peter and Dana as once again happily married. May your vows strengthen the love you share and reaffirm your commitment to each other. I invite you to share the kiss and seal the deal.
Can come the years on hand that we've been together. I need the other one to hold you, make you feel better. It's not a walk in the park to love each other, but when our fingers interlock, can't deny you're worth it. 'Cause after all this time, I'm still into you. I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on our worst nights, I'm into you. Let 'em wonder how we got this far, 'cause I don't really need to wonder at all. Yeah, after all this time, I'm still into you. Recount the night that I first met your mother, and on the drive back to my house, I told you that I loved you. You felt the weight of the world fall off your shoulder, and to your favorite song we sang along to the start of forever. And after all this time, I'm still into you. I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on our worst nights, I'm into you. Let 'em wonder how we got this far, 'cause I don't really need to wonder at all. Yeah, after all this time, I'm still into you. Some things just make sense, and one of those is you and I. Some things just make sense, and even after all this time, I'm into you. Baby, not a day goes by that I'm not into you. I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on our worst nights, I'm into you. Let 'em wonder how we got this far, 'cause I don't really need to wonder at all. Yeah, after all this time, I'm still into you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of night. I get to introduce your bridal party. So please pay your attention right this way and make plenty of noise as we first bring out Christina Kranz and Devin Hellman. It's followed closely by Angelica Worthington and Adam Mazzal. Come on now, let's make some noise for Sarah Daughtry and Rob! Here we go, let's hear it for Olivia Sampson and Ryan Groves! What? Did I say it? If not, here we go. Let's bring out Jessica Pitts and Danny Riddell!
Guilty as charged, guilty as charged.
Plenty of noise. We want to hear it for Alexis Falcon and Kyle Tensu. And finally, we got Danny Bless and Stephen Kolopidis. I almost had it. And my apologies, we forgot the star of the show. Don't forget our flower girl, Madison. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, put your hands together, and help me welcome Mr. and Mrs. Kolokithias.
So good, and there is no doubt I will stay with you as each morning brings the sunrise and the flowers bloom in springtime. On my love, you can rely, and I will stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through the ups and the downs. Oh, I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark clouds around, I will stay by your side. And I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you. I'll stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through the ups and the downs. Yes, I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark clouds arise, I will stay by your side. And I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you, and there'll be heartaches and pain. Yes, it will. Through it all, we will remain. Hey, in this life, we all know friends may come and they may go. Yes, I know. I will stay. In the end, I know that we'll find love so beautiful and divine. And we'll be lovers for a lifetime, yeah. And I'll stay with you. Oh, I will through the ups and the downs. Yes, I will. I'm gonna stay with no one else is around. And when the dark clouds around, I will stay by your side. And I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you. Everything will be fine, yeah. And I'll stay with you through the end of all time. I'll stay with you.
Round of applause for our bridegrooms, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, the wedding party may be seated. And now we have our very special dances to follow. We'd like to ask the bride and her father to the dance floor. Round of applause for the bride and her father, ladies and gentlemen. And following suit, we'd like to ask the groom to the dance floor with his mother. Round of applause for the groom and his mother, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a welcome speech.
I'm going to tell some Dana stories. And maybe I can recoup some of that 30 seconds you took away from my song. My son was born first. And then my wife got pregnant with Dana, and I thought, geez, I hope it's another boy, because I had such a great time with the 2-year-old boy. And then we found out when Dana was born, it was a girl. And I thought to myself, sugar and spice and everything nice. That's not really what I got. She was strong, fearless, tough, and happy. Her pediatrician wanted to make a tape of her getting a vaccination shot because she did it with a smile. She never really was the most graceful person on land. She was very good, that's why she's good in the pool, apparently. But she was crazy when she was younger. She would run through the house. Before she was even able to walk, we put her in one of those stroller things with the wheels on it, the ones that were outlawed because kids were launching themselves off the cellar stairs. So we put Dana in one of those. She used to smash into the furniture, and I remember taking her little hand and saying, Dana, and slapping her little hand, and I'd say no, and she'd just laugh at me. So my wife and I had trouble. We had to find another way to tell her to not do things. So that began the whole era, it's lasted to this day, of negotiation. With Dana, I'm sure some of you know, she's a negotiator. My son, when you tell him no, he go, okay. It was never a big issue. With Dana, you tell her no, that's just the opening salvo. Everything after that has to be something. So on top of that, she was very confident in a lot of things that she wanted to do. So this is the part where I lost my train of thought. She was always trying to compete, okay? And her brother, unfortunately, was the unlikely recipient of a lot of those things, because if he wouldn't do what she wanted, she would just tackle him and beat the hell out of him.
That's true. That is 100% true.
That's 100% true. And he wrote a poem for an assignment, like in, I don't know what grade it was, called My Hurtful Sister. So it got to be difficult to really figure out what to do with her, because she was always happy. There was no strong discipline. There was nothing mean or intended or anything like that. It's just that she wanted everybody to participate in her happiness, and it had to be in her way, and it had to be her terms. All right? Finally, I just had to say to Devin, because he was a great little brother. He took care of her. He doted on her. He always watched out for her, and then she'd beat the hell out of him. So I finally just said to him, Devin, you have my permission to hit her back. He never did. But she stopped beating him up. So I thought that was a pretty good thing. I patted myself on the back and called myself a genius for that, although it was just lucky. So later on, there were so many things. There's so many Dana stories. A lot of these things are just family stories, but anyway, and we're going to jump forward a little bit. She went into swimming. Swimming was like the perfect sport for her. It addressed her competitiveness, and her desire to negotiate. Because not only do you have the race to win, but you have points to add, you have winning your heat, maybe not necessarily the event, and you have a personal best. So no matter what happened, Dana was a winner. And Dana was always somebody who would ask for something, and even if you're saying no, she would go to the next thing. Well, what about this? What about this? She always was so positive, she always wanted to take something away from that. We unleashed her on the vibes, which was like a 6-year, every year for about 6 years we went to a music festival. And Dana would say, geez, I really like those. She was little, like 7 years old. I like those things. And do you think they give them to me? I go, it doesn't hurt to ask. Oh my God. She'd come back to the campsite with dresses, crystals, shoes. She was always a 1 for 3, 2 for 5. Remember that? Sparklers and glow sticks and everything. She refined her terms of the way she approached life on that. And it was basically, you all are living in my world, and this is what I want. And she would give that. She has a knack for talking to people. She can get you to agree with her on things. You know, it was always it was always a skill that I was unfamiliar with. So it was difficult to negotiate myself these things because I didn't know what they were. She was always competing with her brother. He was 2 years older than her. And I kept on saying, you've got, still is. You've got skills that he doesn't have. You have to focus on those. And we've had many conversations about that. She used to get so frustrated. But she was always tough. She was little, she'd fall on the floor, run through the house and trip. Fall on the floor. And I'd say, Dana, you put a dent in my floor. No tears. Just move on. Always. So later in life, during high school, many of her interactions I witnessed as a proud father. She negotiated her way through high school. She had not too many boyfriends, but I never really even paid attention. My wife did, so I didn't have to. I didn't really care. So she went on to college, still swimming. Everything was moving along pretty good, and then she started talking about this guy named Peter. And typically I'm like, yeah, all right. I don't know. So we got to meet him. He was a pretty cool guy. Everything was okay. And we went to breakfast one time. And we're sitting there eating. My wife and I are talking across from us. Was it at Clarkson? Yeah, it was. All right. I look across the table, and Peter's got a napkin. And he's going, da 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 da. I'm like, what the hell is that? That's the Peter's right dance. And she's got this sour look on her face, like looking at her like this. He does that when he's right. And I looked at her, and you have to understand, Dana doesn't let you get away with anything. He was mocking her. And I looked at him, and I thought, holy crap, I think I just met my son-in-law. So I just wanted to say, Maria and Jim, you have a wonderful son. We love him. You have a wonderful family. Thank you so much for creating this. I couldn't be happier or prouder. Peter and Dana, congratulations.
Hello, thank you. I'm doing okay. Nervous that I gotta do this again. Hello, everybody. For those who don't know me, I am Steven. I'm Peter's younger brother. I'm the youngest of four. I already did a speech at his first wedding, and I thought that was enough, but I gotta do another one. You're gonna do 4 for whenever my wedding happens. But just wanted to say it's nice to see everybody here. A lot bigger than the first wedding due to unforeseen circumstances, but it's nice to see everybody here enjoying it. We're with each other, we're having a good time, and it's nice to see both Peter and Dana happy together because whenever they're together, they both just smile ear to ear. As a kid, you know, Peter and I were like really close. We always played silly games around the house, playing with Nerf guns, tag, him pushing me into walls, the whole works. And then when it came time for him to go off to college, I was just like, I was very sad because that was my one friend that I could do stuff around the house, and he went away, and I felt a little sad. But as the years went on, and I eventually met Dana, at first I was just like, oh, so this is the one who stole him from me. But I saw how happy she made him, and that made me feel really warm inside because, I mean, if somebody else can make him happy when, I mean, he's at his worst, then that's always a special place in my heart. And I didn't expect Peter. I thought when Peter was going to go to college, he was just going to go to get a degree, but he got a degree and a beautiful wife as well. Honestly, just being around Dana myself, she's really wonderful. She's able to get the jokes that we both do. She's able to return the jokes, which is a big step because I've never had anybody do that before. And she's just an amazing person to be around. And even her brother Devin is a really nice person to be around. Hey, Devin. Honestly, Dana, Peter, I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I know I am. And before I finish, I would like to quote the great Michael Gary Scott from Dunder Mifflin. Webster's dictionary says that a wedding is the fusion of 2 metals, and Peter and Dana are also 2 metals, gold medals. I had to do it.
Okay, bear with me, this is my first speech ever, so welcome to round 2 of the Colakeithius Wedding Fun. We're all very happy to be here again 2 years later. This is a celebration I wouldn't have missed for literally anything. I am standing on the bride's side, but I was actually friends with Peter first, which is kind of weird. And me and Dana did not originally hit it off, and that's a story she loves to tell people. Not a good start, but here we are over a decade later, and I'm so happy that things worked out the way that they did. So we'll save that story for later because it just makes me look bad. It was my fault we weren't friends initially, not hers. For the first few months of college, I hung out with Peter and some other great people who are pretty much scattered throughout the crowd here. And he would relentlessly play pranks on people, and me in particular. I'm very gullible. And the one time this is a story he loves to tell. He still thinks he's hilarious for it. I had fallen asleep in his room before our math class, and he had changed all the clocks to make me think that I had missed class, which was a big deal for me because I was a goody two-shoes and I was devastated. And he still thinks he's funny for it. It's not. It was not funny. I woke up in a frenzy. But he's always making everyone laugh, always playing music for everybody. There's still some songs to this day that I listen to because of him and think back on all the fun times. Always quoting SpongeBob. So honestly, not much has changed in the past 11 years. In fact, it wasn't until October of freshman year that me and Dana started hanging out when very last minute she asked if I would join her on a trip to Penn State with some other of the freshman girls on the swim team who I wasn't friends with, and I really don't even know why I said yes. I wasn't very outgoing, I didn't know these girls, I had other friends in college, but I'm so glad that I did, and that was when our friendship had started. And even though I don't really remember that weekend very well, the memories afterwards, remember for a lifetime. So ever since that weekend, I have not stopped smiling with this girl. Not a single day has gone by. And the amount of times I would just show up to her room after class and I would just be waiting for her, just waiting. Waiting in her room, in her bed. The amount of times that I would call her crying and just needing somebody and she'd answer. The amount of times I felt like I couldn't breathe from laughing. And I know I'm not the only person that can say that about Dana. Every person that you've met, you've touched their lives, and I love you. So, on the flip side, the amount of times that we've gotten in trouble together, where it's honestly a miracle we survived college without getting any broken bones or concussions, maybe have come close a few times. That's just the kind of friend that you are, though, the good and the bad, good and the bad. So not only did me and Dana realize that that weekend at Penn State was where our friendship solidified and that we were kind of soulmates, I actually ended up meeting my husband that weekend, and we just had a little boy together. So I owe Dana my entire life, start to finish. I owe her everything. I'm so thankful to know you guys, so if that's any testament to how much I love these two, I literally had a baby 3 weeks ago and I'm here. Would not have missed this for anything. So if anyone sees me running to the bathroom to pump, just ignore it. Just completely ignore me. It's fine. But being a Ms. grad, like so many of us here from Misericordia, we've had the pleasure to make memories with both of you too. And it's been such a pleasure watching your friendship and your relationship grow over those years. You know, we had a chance to watch you go through the good and the bad times. Like all relationships in college, just dealing with the stress of figuring out life together, you know, the hardships of entering real life, but your love is like a rubber band. It didn't matter how far your relationship was stretched thin, you always bounced back stronger together. Each time, somehow you came out on top every single time. You know, you've been in love with Peter since day one. Literally, since before college even started, since orientation weekend. Those are stories for another day as well. Those are things we don't really talk about. But Peter, you're a very special person, and I can't think of anyone better for Dana. The two of you are absolutely perfect for each other in every way possible, in every way that the word perfect means for each other. You know, just watching you join together through your journey through life, growing together, supporting each other, watching you achieve your dreams, your dream jobs, going through things that a lot of couples, you know, maybe don't get to go through, and you had the strength to do it together. I would wish you guys the best, but I don't have to. You are true soulmates, and there's no doubt in my mind that you're gonna have the best life together. I can't wait to celebrate your 50th anniversary one day, and your 60th, and your 70th. So just congrats to you guys. I'm happy to be here again 2 years later. Okay. I love you. Say it back. You guys. Yeah.
Resilient little thing, just like mama made you. No one needs to save you. Na 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 na. Wildflower in the spring, no they can't contain you. Through the cracks you break through. Na 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 na. I deserve congratulations, 'cause I came out the other side. I've been having revelations, and I'm gonna let them shine. I deserve congratulations, and never thought that I'd survive. If you tell me I won't make it, and that's when I super blue. Super blue. Super blue. Super blue. Resilient little thing, just like mama raised you, so you got that wildfire in your soul. Don't you ever let it go. Make it burn so bright that they all know I deserve congratulations, 'cause I came out the other side. I've been having revelations, and I'm gonna let them shine. I deserve congratulations, and never thought that I'd survive. If you tell me I won't make it, and that's when I super blue. Never rained in the desert till I picked me for the very first time. Mist darkest before the sunrise.